everyone, so today we are going to be talking about some makeup tools. We have brushes, we have sponges, powder puffs, and I'm going to tell you what ones I think are worth the money, what ones I think are not. So I'm going to go through kind of what I have, but also like what I recommend. Before we get into this video, if you haven't done so already, please sure to subscribe so you don't miss any further videos from me. Let's just get going. So we're going to start off with sponges because that's the first tool I would use in my routine. My absolute favourite brand of sponges is Clomana. The ones I have still all say Coco Cosmetics by Chloe because that was the original brand, but now it's Clomana because she did a name change. I have three here. I have all three different shapes. These are the marshmallow sponges. So I have shape 1, shape 2 and the mini. I don't actually use the mini as much as I used to, but I do really like it still. So the mini is just like a mini of shape 2. She does have minis of the shape 1, but only like in a little set, and she does actually have now loads of colors. So if you want like a colorful sponge, she now has loads of them, which is really, really fun. These are the best sponges. Like none of these are wet, by the way, and they are so insanely soft. Like look how spongy that is. They are incredible. Like I recommend these sponges so much. They have got a bit more pricier now since when I first purchased mine, but you can get like a set of 4 of these, a set of 4 of these. We will go on to brushes, then we'll end with powder puffs. So I have a big pot of brushes here. Okay, so the way I'm going to go through the brushes, I'm going to go by brand. 6 miscellaneous ones, which ironically the miscellaneous ones that aren't like I only have one from each brand, they're actually the ones I use the most. I would say these 4 brands, the ones I would recommend the most if you're looking for some makeup brushes. I have the Refi brush. Now this is a dual-ended brush, so this brush is actually incredible. Excuse the state of it. I used ISO Clean to clean it and it got on my hands and then it went all over this, and I'm so sad about it because it's such a good brush, but not the point. I used to use it for bronzer. Now I don't, because I don't really like the stippling brush for bronzer. I use this for my glowy bases, so I will blend out my glowy bases with this brush, and I don't actually use the little flat side. I did used to use it for the Refi blush, but I just don't anymore. But it is very soft, it is very nice. Would I recommend this brush? Yes. Do I think it's worth, like you need to buy a brush this expensive? No. I think you can definitely just find any stippling brush to use. Then I have my foundation brush, which I use. Now this is the Real Techniques foundation, expert foundation brush, and I love this brush. I think it's so nice. Blending foundation. Again, if you have buffing brush already, I don't think you necessarily need to go out and buy this, but if you're looking for one and you don't have one, I would recommend this one. I don't buff anything in. I like dab it all in and like pat it in all over my face. It doesn't leave any like streaks, not that because I'm not really rubbing it in, but it just blends everything out so seamlessly. Then we have my concealer brush. Now this is from Beauty Crop. I wouldn't recommend this concealer brush. If you want a really dense concealer brush, then yes, this is perfect for you. Personally, I wouldn't recommend this. For me, I got this because I wanted a little concealer brush, but I wanted something a little bit fluffier. I thought it was going to be a little bit softer than it is. Very like, it doesn't move, it's very dense, so I just wouldn't recommend it for that reason. It's a bit too dense for me and I want something a bit fluffier. There's one from Doll Beauty, I think it is. Then I have BH Cosmetics. We have 2 BH Cosmetics, so we'll talk about this first. Ironically, they're both I use for bronzer. So for my bronzer, my powder bronzer, I will use this fluffy brush and do like my cheeks, my forehead and like under my jaw. I would say I wouldn't go any bigger than this for my bronzer. You could probably go a little bit smaller even if you want to be a bit more precise. Then I have the BH Cosmetics Studio Pro 3. I use this brush, again, you could use this to actually do like contour. I personally use this for bronzer like on my nose, and also just if I want to throw some bronzer on my eyes, I just use it for that. I find it works really well and I quite like it. And I also sometimes, once I've sculpted my cheek, I use this to just blend out that powder. And then the last brush that's like miscellaneous is a Beauty Bay BB105. Now this I used to use for my powder blush. I don't anymore. It's really, really lovely when it's clean. It's currently not very clean. When it's clean, this brush is so soft and so fluffy. So now if I use this with powder, with my blusher, it kind of packs it on quite a lot. But when it's freshly cleaned, it is so soft and I do love it. It's a really great powder brush. It is just like a small tapered brush. For bronzer, you could use this for like powder under your eyes, powder on your face. If you want to do like a very like, not a sharp highlighter, you could even use it for that. It's a really, really great brush. Now we are going to go on to different brands. To give you context, I'm in Morocco right now. When I came here, I obviously didn't bring all of my makeup brushes with me. I've got a lot left at home. I brought with me my favorite ones. So most of the brushes I have with me are my favorites from each brand. I didn't really bring any that I don't use that often. So most of these get used, but I will show you what my favorites are from each, because you definitely don't need all of these because there's a lot here. So we're going to start off with my newest obsession, Peaches and Cream. These are so good and they are so affordable. If there is one brand you take from this video, I would say Peaches and Cream, because they're honestly like around £5. Some of them are under £5. It's honestly so worth it. They're on TikTok Shop. If you've not tried them, I really recommend it. The brushes are so soft, they're such good quality, they're really, really pretty. I have the PC19, the PC16, the PC21 and the PC17. I used 3 out of the 4. So the one I use for my cream bronzer is the PC19. I saw a girl called Chloe Roberts on TikTok use this brush and I just love the look of it. It's a very dense tapered brush. Personally, I think this is perfect for cream bronzer. This is what I use it for. You could maybe use it for cream blush if you want to, if you like a more dispersed blush, but for cream bronzer I think this is perfect, and I'm sure it's like £5 or £6. It's so worth it. And then on kind of the same lines, the PC16, this is like a smaller tapered brush. It's also quite dense. I used to use this for my cream blush, my liquid blush more so, and cream actually. I don't really use this as much anymore because I found a new favourite, but what I would recommend this brush for is blushes from Made by Mitchell, because if you find blushes are quite dry and quite hard to blend, this brush blends them so easy because it is quite dense. It just blends really, really seamlessly. A softer brush like the Made by Mitchell, I don't really like. They're a bit too fluffy to blend out blushes in my opinion, so this one is perfect. One time I put a blush on and I was like, well, it's not really blending. Use this brush, blend it out perfectly. And then my newest favourite brush for blush, cream blush, is the PC21, because this one, as you can see, is like a tapered brush and it's really soft, and I've just really been enjoying this for my cream blushes. Wow, blush and brush is really confusing. Yeah, to me it's just perfect. You can also use it for cream bronzer. A lot of people use it for that. You could even use it for foundation if you want to. It kind of works for anything. Because it is fluffier, I don't really love it with blushes because it is fluffy, and sometimes liquid blushes as well, like, but for cream in like a pot, this is my favorite thing. It is beautiful. And I also have the PC17, which I did originally buy this for highlighter, but I just find it a bit too like intense. I prefer like using a fan brush where I get this glow rather than like a line. You could use this for like powder under the eyes, but I don't really reach for this one as much. Next up, we're going to go on to Zoeva. Now this is a bit of a pricier brand. I did get these brushes when I was 16 for Christmas. I only really bought with me eye ones. I've got 3 face ones and then the rest are eye ones. I do have a full set, so I've got a lot more face ones back at home in the UK. So we'll go on to the face ones first before we do eyes. The 3 face ones I have with me are, I don't even know what this one is called because it's a fan brush. I don't know what it was called. Luxe fan brush maybe. Then I have the Luxe Sheer Cheek and the Luxe, oh, I don't know what that one says. This one is, oh, Face Shape. It really depends what you're looking for. I do love this fan brush. You can see it's very well loved. I love its natural head. All of my Zoeva brushes pretty much are all natural head. A few of them are. I just love this for my highlighter. If you're looking for a fan brush, it's amazing. Now, Zoeva brushes, I'd say out of all of the brands I'm showing you here, this is the one I would recommend the least, just because it is more expensive and I do think you can get just as good brushes from cheaper brands. So I'm definitely not sitting here saying you need to get these ones. If you want to splurge a bit more, I would recommend Zoeva. Fan brush, like I said, this is my top one I'd recommend from Zoeva for face brushes. I think it's stunning. I love it. Then I have these two, which now this really does depend on what you're after. It is so insanely soft, but the reason I don't reach this is because I'm gonna give it another go, but I'm not a massive fan of natural head brushes on my face. Apart from that fan brush, I do love that one, but in terms of for like powder bronzer, powder blush, like any powder in general, I don't love natural head brushes, but I love them on my eyes but not really on my face. Reason being is when I have used a natural hair brush before, I've noticed that it picks up some of my foundation from underneath. I used to use this brush for my blush, but then I changed my mind of the style of brush I want to use. And then this one I have a love-hate relationship with. This is the Face Shape. Now normally I use this one for my concealer, but as like any other person, when you use something too much, it gets really, really dirty. So when this is freshly washed, I love this for my concealer. When it's dirty, I hate it, because when a brush has got too much foundation or concealer on it, it then makes it look really streaky because there's just too much product build up. But if you are a good person and you clean your brushes all the time, you'll really like this brush for concealer. I don't really use this under my eyes because it is quite big, but I do like it for like blending out the rest of my concealer. Then another one that isn't actually a face brush, but I use it as a face brush, or is it a face brush? Oh, it is a concealer buffer. I use this one either, I used to use it under my eyes, but I don't anymore. I now use this when I'm using like a pot concealer to just put on spots. Not a necessity, so if you don't really have spots or you don't really need like a little concealer brush, then don't bother. Then we're on to my eye brushes. Now, Zoeva brushes. Actually, one of these is MAC. I do have a MAC brush. I'll just throw this in here. I have the MAC 217. OG YouTube people will remember this brush. It's great. Do I recommend it? I wouldn't say you need to get it. But zoeva brushes on the other hand, oh my gosh, I just love them. Especially these two. The Luxe Soft Crease and the Luxe Crease. If you want some really lovely blending brushes, these are the two. As you can see, they are well loved. Love these brushes. Whenever I'm doing an eyeshadow or if I'm just doing bronzer in my lid like today, these are the brushes I use. These are my first two. I will always put the first colours on with these two brushes. Once I've run out of these two brushes, I go onto like Beauty Bay or something. And then I have these ones, again, depends what you want. I would say these are not a necessity. If you're gonna get two, get these two. Luxe Smoky Shader, which this one is good. I always forget I have it to put on like on your lid, to put some shimmer on your lid, anything like a matte shade on your lid. It's great for your lid. Then I have the Cream Shader. Now I don't really use it anymore. This is quite good for carving your eyebrows. It's a really good carving brush. You definitely don't need it unless you want to carve your eyebrows out. Then I have the Luxe Petite Crease. Again, I don't actually really use this one. This one I normally use if I'm doing an eyeshadow look and I want to put dark colour on the outside, or I want to do something under my eyes. That's the only time I really use this one. Apart from that, I don't really use it. Then we have Beauty Bay. Now, this is the brand of eye brushes I would recommend more than any other. They do like a 12 eyeshadow brush set and it's amazing. I have a few of brushes here. I have two of the same ones, which I don't know what these ones are called. The purple one doesn't have a name. The white one says BB211. These I really like. They're slightly different lengths, slightly. I really like these for doing in my colour case and doing liner. Now we're on to the main star of the show. These are such good blending brushes. The one thing I do not like about brands is when they bring out an eyeshadow brush set and two of the brushes are fluffy and the other 8 are like this type of brush, this type of brush. I want like a whole set of fluffy brushes, and that is why I love Beauty Bay brushes, because they're not that expensive and you can buy them as individuals. I don't know if I have a couple of the same. Oh, I do. Okay, so I have duplicates here. I must have bought a couple. I've got 3 of the same brush. Anyway, I have 2 of these ones, which I need to clean these because I have an issue where when I have the same brush twice, I end up using it for the same thing and then the other one doesn't get used. So I have 2 of the BB204 brushes. Now these are just like really small blending brushes. I normally use these for drip drip on my eyes. This is my favourite brush to use for drip drip. I'll use one, then I'll grab the other thinking it's my drip drip brush, and they both have drip drip on them so they don't get used as eyeshadow brushes. But for the drip drip, these are amazing. Didn't know I had 3 of the same brush. I have 3 of the BB203, probably because it's my favourite. This brush is just like your classic fluffy brush and it's incredible. I did not know I had 3 of them. I don't know how I've got 3 of them, but this brush, I must have got these not in a set. Then again, maybe I have other ones at home, I don't know. But anyway, if you just want like a really good fluffy brush, love these. And I think I have these in the purple as well, but like I like the white ones more. And then I have the BB202 brush, which is a lot fluffier, if you can see the difference. So you've got 202, 203, 204. 203 if you want a classic. This is like a fluffy one, this is like a normal one. So that's those ones. Now my last brand I have here is Made by Mitchell. Now these brushes, I don't know exactly how many's here. I did buy the 30-piece set, but I've also got a couple of others from other things. So we'll start off with 2 brushes that I don't think you can buy, so I'm just going to show you. I have the 2 from the colour case where you have the spatula. If you have these and you don't know what to use them for, I would recommend using them for if you want to put curved case on your lip. We're going to start with eyes because we were already on eyes. So I have 3 liner brushes. These are the ME7, or in the Ski collection they were SKE7, but they're just these little angled brushes. Now if you do want to get an eyeliner brush, this one is incredible because I use either like a pencil and I'll rub this on the end of the eyeliner pencil and then I'll make the wing. I did it today with this. It's just a really good little hat. And then another duplicate I have is similar brush, just the bigger version. The normal one is called ME6. It's just a normal angled brush. I did use this at one point for liner because it just makes a bigger wing. Don't really reach for it. I wouldn't really recommend a brush like this. I would recommend the smaller one over this one. Then the other liner brush I have is, oh, I just realized I have a 3rd curve case, color case brush with the spatula. I use this for my lips, as you can see. Then I have this liner brush, which I've never used. This is the ME12. So don't recommend that. Then we're on to like the fluffier brushes. I actually need to sort these brushes out because they're actually really, really pretty and we're really, really pretty for eyeshadow. There's an issue here though. 5 of them have got my Rare Beauty Enlighten highlighter on them because it's this, no, it's not this one. It should be that one. I should use that one for it. It's the ME1 that I use normally for my highlighter, but then if I can't find it, I just grab a different fluffy one because they're all really small and fluffy. So I need to stop doing that. I think I'm just going to choose one to be my highlighter brush. Maybe I'll use this like tiny one. But anyway, before we get to fluffy, we have this one, which is the ME5. What did I use this for? I'm not sure. This is one I probably wouldn't recommend you get in because, I mean, you can't buy these individually anyway. So let's talk differently about this. Let's talk about this as if it's the set. So we'll talk about them as a whole, but I will go through the brushes. So this one I don't really use so much. You can use this though to carve out your eyebrows. I'm going to try and leave the ones that I think are in a set on the side because I bought the set and I really like it. So then we have 4 of these style of brushes. Yes, the sort of like fluffy flat brushes. We have the ME4 and then the same one but in the ski collection. Then we have the ME8 and the ME9. So these are like the sort of brushes that are like fluffy but they're flat. And the way I use these is normally if I've done an eyeshadow look, I use these if I want to put like a matte shade over my lid. Maybe you could use them for sculpting your nose. Would I say Mitchell's set is a great idea for someone who's just starting out in makeup? Yes and no, you'll see why in a minute, but I would say you could actually you can make a full face with those brushes. So we're going to put these 3 over there so we can talk about the set later, but I do use these brushes actually more than I realised. Then for the little fluffy brushes, so we have the ME2, which, as I said, I never use these for eyeshadows because they're really skinny, but I really want to start using them for eyeshadows because I feel like they're really good brushes to make like creative looks with. So I do want to start using them, but as I said, I think all of them have my highlighter on because I just grab any that looks like the one. So the ME2, the ME3, ME1, ME10 and ME11. So obviously for eyeshadow, you're realistically gonna go for these 3 because they're like the most like normal fluffy brushes, and then these 2 not so much. I do like how many fluffy brushes you do get in the Mitchell set. It is quite good. And then for the face ones, I do have some duplicates. So I'm gonna like show you the 3 I have that are all the same first. So I have 2 of the MF2, and this is an SK F6. I'm not sure if this is the same as the MF2 or the MF3, but it's pretty much the same thing. So this one's ruined because of this one got messed up by IsoClean, but this one's fine. These ones are really, really good. I use them all the time. Now this one, I don't know if it matches this. Does that look similar to you, or does it look more similar to this one? Maybe it's more similar to this one. These 2, I used to use them for my cream blusher. I don't anymore, but you could use this for under the eyes. You could use it for cream blusher. You could use it for concealer. Like, you have a lot of options with this brush. Then the MF3, I have been using this for my powder blush and I have been loving it. It is my favorite way to use this brush. It's just so pretty just to pat on your powder blush with it, and it's such a soft brush as well. And then I have this one, SK F6. I don't know which one this is meant to be like, but it's in between the 2, and I've been using this to powder under my eyes to set my eyes. So this is a really, really pretty, beautiful brush that you can use for that. Then I have 2 of the MF1. Don't really use this, as you can see. Mine is slightly different because one of mine, the original one I had that came in the set, not in the set, I got it on its own, there's like one bit in it that pokes me when I use it, but then the other one, when I use it, it's really soft. I think this is the pokey one. I don't know because it's not on my face. This is the one I can see. This is the one from the set because the M is different on it. My old one I have is like engraved with an M, not like printed. So this one must be the one that pokes me. Good brush, probably just best for either concealer or for cream blush, but I don't love it. I don't really reach for it. And then finally you've got the MF4, which this is actually a really, really great brush. You could use again for foundation, you could use it for cream bronzer, cream blush. You could probably even use it for powder bronzer, powder blush. This is also a really, really good brush. So this is the set, because you can't buy these individually, and I paid like £25 for 30 brushes, and they are really, really good brushes. So if you are looking for a good set to buy, maybe for your daughter or like anyone, I would recommend these because this is only 16 out of the 30. It is a 30-piece set, isn't it? Or is it a 16-piece set? No, I lied. It's a 16-piece set for £30. So these are all 16 brushes, and I just think you get a really good range of brushes, and they're really, really fluffy, and you don't get all those pointless like flat brushes that no one uses. You actually get brushes you can use. So if you're looking probably for like a good starter set, I probably would actually recommend Mitchell's brushes. Peaches and Cream also do a starter set. And then finally we have powder puffs. So I have the now is Clomana powder puff, I have the Trigwell, and I have the Jordana T-shirt. You honestly could get either. What I would say, if you're gonna get Trigwell, get the minis, because I used to like this, but then I end up folding it to do under my eye, so it's just pointless. Just get the mini. The Jordana ones are really good value for money. They're very plush and velvety velvety. They all have a very different texture, and the cocoa one is also really, really lovely, which is now Clomana. I don't have a preference. I genuinely like them all the same, so it's up to you which one you want. They're all available in TikTok shop. It's genuinely just your preference. So yeah, that is all of my tools. That is what I recommend and what I don't recommend from each brand I have. But these are my favorite brushes. That's why they're all here with me. I hope that helped you in any way. If you're looking to buy for someone, or if you're looking to buy some more for yourself to add to your collection or start your collection. So if you enjoyed this video, please sure to subscribe, like and comment. Let them know the other ideas you have down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.